885.
What a bad girl.
Rubbish! There's buggers over here.
Back outside. This is the point where he always hits it. Oh! Aaron Harrison beyond belief.
We did it. We beat those British
We
bastards.
beat the British. Second, Cornwallis.
10 kids. You're basically pregnant for 20 years. Pregnant or breastfeeding. Just wild. Like, that sounds exhausting.
Potheads. What an adorable bunch of people.
Woodson from the gun, play fake, step it up. He's throwing deep down the near sideline. He's got Johnson. 20, 10, 5, touchdown, Kentucky!
Jesus, Rash, get it together.
Yeah,
It's game day. Come on.
Welcome to Kentucky Roll Call with Walker and Roush.
Hello, everybody. Happy Monday to you. It is June 16th, 2025. This is Kentucky Roll Call on Big X Sports Radio. Just banged my knee into the desk. That hurt. Totally unforced error to start today's show. We are streaming. I haven't tweeted out the link yet because we started a little early today. Don't know what the heck's going on over here at Big X Sports Radio, but about a 3-minute earlier start. In which case, I can't do anything about it, Roush. I don't know how to add commercials or do anything like that. But we started early. I started the podcast recording, and we're off and running. We'd love to hear from you on the Gameday Men's Health text line, 502-414-1450. Scooch wasn't here when we got in. Normally, he's running things. So I don't know what he's off to today, but he wasn't in. And but as long as we sound good, Roush, that's all that matters. He is Nick Roush. How are you, buddy?
Doing well. The early start, I had to scarf down my lunch. Or I guess you'd call it a lunch. But just a little chicken wrap. I was like, oh, I got plenty of time. Oh, nope.
You sure don't.
Nope. But hey, we're still good. We're ready to rock, ready to roll. Been a productive Monday so far. After which, sometimes you got a seemingly long weekend. Then if that Monday can be tough, but we were up, we were at them, we were ready to roll this morning.
I wish it seemed like a long weekend. Feels like we blinked, and it was Friday the 13th show. We were doing the fun noises and all that good stuff.
Well, I didn't have to work the website this weekend, so anytime that happens, it's like the longest weekend ever.
When you don't have to work the website?
Yeah. It just feels like, oh my gosh, I haven't worked in 24 hours.
I think you have that backwards.
No.
Weekends go by fast when you're doing fun things.
No. That's what I mean. Like, no, opposite. It feels like the weekend lasts a long time because I have 2 days off in a row, and I'm just not used to that. That's very rare in this profession. So it feels longer.
I still
you know
think
what I mean?
you're going against what the majority of people would say. They would say that when they don't have to work, the weekend goes by in a flash. Now when they don't have to work, the weekend seems really long. But that's great. No, it's a good thing that you feel that way.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. And it was good. You didn't have to work.
Yeah.
Father's Day. Hopefully you were honored as a dad.
It was good. Got a new hat. See? It's got the little
the derby hat. Yeah. That's real nice, Clark.
Yeah.
I like it.
Got a new hat, I even got new shorts. You want to see his shorts too?
Nice shorts.
Oh, man.
Great. The streamers are very lucky.
They're very lucky.
To see Nick Roush's shorts.
They're not too short.
They're shorter. They're not long shorts.
No, they're not long shorts. This isn't 2010.
No, and they're not pants either. So,
But
Somewhere in between.
we had a good time. We did a little picnic on a muggy Friday.
It was a little muggy.
It was muggy after that rain came down.
But it wasn't raining, so that was nice.
Yeah. Did the fish sandwich. It was either fish or pork chop sandwich, and I had pork chops like 2 days before, so I was like, and I caught a whiff of the fish, but it was tasty. It's cold beers. Kids won some games. Best part though was they didn't win a cake at the cake wheel, but a nice older woman next to us won multiple cakes and gave the boys a ticket.
Huge.
So we got to go pick out a cake, and they've changed up cake wheels now where it is more often than not you just go to a room and you walk around and you pick out your cake instead of having it in the back. What's the sports talker's cake wheel preference?
That, I think. In terms of just the rigmarole of selecting cake?
What type of cake, though?
Oh, I don't know. You gotta check them out. You gotta see what the options are. I go for the exterior. You can't judge, obviously, when you're looking at 30 cakes or 50 cakes, how they are going to taste based on, well, you can't cut them open and get a little peek, so you can strictly only really go by the exterior. So I usually just go by one that's safe and looks good on the outside. So, like, just a yellow cake or chocolate cake or whatever.
Yeah, fair enough. Which I'm with you that you cannot judge the exterior because a lot of times people are bringing in multiple cakes.
No, you can judge the exterior. We're off today, buddy.
Oh yeah.
You can only judge the exterior. You can't judge the interior because you can't go around licking all of them.
Well, but they'll
Trust
tell
me,
you.
I've tried.
This picnic, they had them organized. Out at Mount Carmel, they had the yellow cakes on one table, they had chocolate on one table, they had white, they had then they had just miscellaneous, which that was the fun stuff.
That is fun.
Because you had, like, there was one, it was just a giant cookie. It was just this enormous pan of a cookie. I'm like, oh, that interests me. I guess you would call it a cookie cake, but I was also thinking, like, oh, that's just one giant cookie. You had what I was really intrigued by, red velvet's fine, and carrot cake is my number one. Like, I love a good carrot cake. Love it. I'm getting a vegetable serving too, so technically it's good for you. I'm almost certain that's how it works. But they had a cake. It was cinnamon toast crunch cake with cinnamon sprinkles, and I was like, oh man, I might deviate from the go-to, and I know it's Father's Day. I should be able to. You know what? I'm going to put my foot down and say cinnamon toast crunch cake. The issue is that there weren't sprinkles on it, and we weren't getting out of that place without sprinkles on the cake. So ended up getting the carrot cake. It was good. It was delicious. It had sprinkles on it. It was a solid night. We knew some friends playing some music up there, so did that. Did a little. Nothing too crazy. It was nice, pretty relaxing weekend, Mr. Sports Talker. Hung out with some friends Saturday night, ordered some pizza, let the kids play. So, all in all, good weekend. Although, my one regret, and it's not necessarily a regret because I ended up, having a good time anyway. We took the kids to the pool on Sunday, and, I got to have a nice long run. But we talked about this on Thursday or Friday maybe, where it's like, I want to kind of get out on the links and play some golf on Father's Day, but this weather just looks horrible. I didn't just make the tee time and get with the friends and say, well, if the weather happens, we'll just cancel. It's fine. Instead, I was like, looks like a washout, 80% chance of rain all weekend long. I don't think I saw one drop of rain on Sunday. Yeah. So, you know what? That's hand up. I messed up. You just make the tee time, and if it rains on you, it rains on you.
That's the
way.
If
it rains out, you get the rain check.
That's the way to go about it.
No. And
cross the bridge when you get to it.
Exactly. And instead, I got bullied by my friends on the stupid weather app. Which, man, this is a little wacky Wednesday, TJ, but I think we're doing our percent chance of rain wrong. I think we're doing it all wrong.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, how should we do it then?
We should do it by percentage chance of day that it's going to rain. Because scattered showers, like, that's 10% the whole way. And now the 10% might be a flood, but there's some days where it's just a washout, and it's going to rain all day, and it's going to be 100%. Those are not the same. Those are different. We need different percentage chances on our forecast. Is that fair?
I get what you're saying. I think it is. It's a little confusing when you're like, it's only for 30% of that area is going to get rain or something along those lines.
Right.
I don't think that that's accurate. I don't know if the way that you're proposing would be. So you just wanted, hey, there's like a 20% chance it's going to rain this day?
No, I think that's what it is now. Is it going to, if it does rain, how long is it going to rain? That's where I'm at. Like, is it going to be 100% of my day? Is it going to be 15 minutes? Because that's the part with me, where, especially in the summertime, where I can handle if it's only going to rain here or there. Like, we just get in and out of there, right? We had a bad downpour during our show on Friday. Like, that was, what, 2 hours of the day? It was raining really hard. So that would mean how many? We'll do 12 hours instead of 24 hours. So that would put it at, I'm bad at math here. What's 2 out of 6 is like, what, 30%. We'll just go straight up 30%. That was a 30% rain day. Rained really hard for 30% of the day.
I like it. I mean, I don't think it's going to pick up steam, unfortunately for you, but I get where you're at with it.
You know what? Or I could just watch my local meteorologist and they'll tell me the story of it.
There's that too.
Yeah, you know, really splitting hairs here for no particular reason.
Gosh, cake booth on. We went to Rayfield on Friday night, and it was nice because I thought it was going to be like the week before where it was like, all right, let's just go, try to eat, say hi to people, and then once it starts raining, we'll get out of there, because that's exactly what happened at Margaret Mary the week before. But at Rayfield, the rain never came, so we got to stay longer than we thought. They had a nice little inflatable setup, so the 3-year-old loved that. They had a wipeout inflatable, which maybe you've seen or maybe you haven't seen.
I haven't.
They get real creative with the inflatables. If you haven't been to a picnic or you're out of the little kid birthday party cycle, which God bless you if you are. I'm knee deep into it. But inflatables all the rave. You don't really get the carnival rides at all the picnics exclusively like you did back in the day. You'll still get them at some, but most of them just opt for the inflatables because they're easier and cheaper
probably,
and they work. The kids like them. But they had this way, and most of them are just either like a ginormous slide or maybe just a bounce house that's a fun shape or something like that, or an obstacle course. But this one was sponsored by the TV show Wipeout, which was a bunch of fun, different obstacle courses where people would fall in dramatic fashion and be hilarious and whatnot.
Which doesn't sound like the best thing for a kid's.
No, not really, especially not a 3-year-old.
Yeah.
And I saw this.
Maybe like a
Sure.
right.
Like an 8-year-old or something. When I saw the setup, I was like, oh, that's not for her. But of course, naturally, it was the first thing that she wanted to do.
Right. Yeah.
So what it was it had a platform, and then it had 3, maybe 4. No, I think 4 giant red balls. And you had to jump off the platform onto one of the giant red balls. And then you had to go from that giant red ball to the next one.
I mean, there's just no way she's staying on there.
And the next one and the next one all the way to the end. So the first time she goes, I'm just thinking she weighs 32 pounds.
She's gonna wipe out.
No, but I really thought she was going to like spring off this thing and then maybe just go into orbit potentially. And she does. She hits it. And she flies, but then she's like a cat, like she's right back on it. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's awesome. I was like, yeah, go Lucy, go to the next one. She jumps to the next one. Very similar. Like she goes flying, but she lands back on it. And she's kind of scared, but she's excited. She's looking over at us like, did that just happen? We're like, all right, you're going to go finish this thing. On the third one, she did bounce off and she couldn't stick at that time. And she fell off and she was fine because it's all inflatable and makes nice cushy landings. She was so excited to go and try and do it again. And she went and she did it again, and she finished it. She dominated it. It was super impressive. The funny thing is, I tried to tell her this. She really probably could have done it easily without really too much drama just because she's strong, a little 3-year-old body. You're really like nothing but muscle for the most part. And she's just small and can hold on to things pretty well. But what she was doing, Roush, is when she'd go to jump on the inflatable, she'd go knee first. So, like, naturally, her knees would go springing, and, like, she'd almost, like, do a flip, but she wouldn't, and she'd be able to land. So I was telling her, like, land on your stomach, like, you know, arms out, legs out, everything. Let your stomach be the first thing to hit the ball, and you'll be fine. She didn't listen, though, and that's okay. But every time she'd just go knee first, and it was pretty dramatic, but it was fun to watch, and she accomplished it, and that was fun. We didn't get to go check out the selection of cakes or how organized Rayfield's cake room was. because we miss by a freaking number every time, Roush. Like, no joke. It was just probably 5 times, just the number either right on top of ours or the number right off to the side. And oddly enough, one of my grade school best friends' mom was the person who was taking the dimes in front of us.
Okay.
The cake wheel, you put a dime down on a number. Our numbers went up to 120, which I always think is a little lame. Like, let's cap it at 100.
I believe we have 120 at St. Paul's.
Hate the 120s.
Yeah.
120, what is this? Like an actual casino? All right. Well, 1 through 100's hard enough as is.
Hey, we're donating to the church, TJ.
We're donating to the church, but 1 through 100, a 1% chance, I think is good enough. We don't need to make it any harder on the people. But anyways, we were missing by a number left and right, and one of my grade school best friend's mom is, again, working the dimes, and I can see it in her face to be like, hey, just go get a cake. You've got your 3-year-old.
Right.
Go get a cake. I can see the process of
But
her.
you need her to say it, though. You need her to give you the nod or the, like.
She never did. I was a little disappointed about that.
Or she never just, like, I think the move would be to just go, when she went to pick it up, to slide it over.
Well, that's cheating in line.
Oh.
At a church picnic.
Who's just telling you to go get a cake.
If you get the blessing from an employee, yeah, maybe they have some protocol. Like if you got
exact.
No.
Just say it.
What is me making? What is me making a determination?
No, I'm saying her.
Yeah,
if she would have slid the dime over.
Yeah, she should have done that.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Should have done that.
Yeah, no, not you.
I couldn't do that. I was holding my 3-year-old.
No, you got to teach her that there is integrity, but if they want to cheat for you, I mean, that's out of your hands, right?
Exactly. We did win a candy jar, and we let the 3-year-old go back there and, like, pick out which, and I think the candy jar concept is pretty cool, too. We did one at Margaret Mary where you just fill a jar with whatever you want, and that's, like, the prize. Some people do lottery tickets or candies or golf tees or golf balls.
I don't need more candy at my house, though.
Well, that's what she went. She went and picked the candy one, and not even really good candy. It was like Hershey chocolates, which are solid, but they're dark chocolates, and then the Baby Ruth little candies, which those just aren't all that great. They're not all that great. They're not Kit Kats. There's a lot of better jars, Roush. There's a lot of better jars.
She's learning.
And she grabbed it, and guess how many pieces of candy she's eating out of that jar? Like none, because she'd rather have like funner, more marketable to children type candy than just kind of.
I know, and then now it's just going to sit in your house.
Candy's candy. She'll eventually get around to eating it, but she's not. It's just sitting around for us to eat. It's staring us in the eye like, have me. Here, come, enjoy.
Oh, is it sitting out too?
It's just out in our house.
Oh yeah, we cannot have candy out in our house. It's a
it
real
gets
issue.
consumed.
Yeah, it's real. And we have one of our neighbors. She loves to give the kids candy, and it's cool. It's fine. It's the issue is if there is any left over, and somehow I don't know how, because now the boys can push chairs next to the countertops and then climb up the countertops and then open up the cabinets, and somehow the toddler, he found, I don't know what it was, but I was getting to sleep in on Father's Day until he started screaming, and it was all because he wanted a sucker that he found somewhere, and it's like, you're not eating a sucker at 7 a.m. Sorry, bud. So yeah, I had to hear about that from upstairs. That was, maybe one downside to Father's Day. Did you ever get Father's Day, Mr. Sports Talker?
Father's Day was great. Honestly, couldn't ask for a better day. It was amazing. I've got more afternoon delights and weekend pleasantries. Even from I'm not even done with Friday, Roush, for what it's worth. Before I even make my way over to my Father's Day plan, I know people don't tune in necessarily for step by step. How did your weekend go? But it's summer radio, so really, I think you are tuning in for step by step. How did your weekend go? There are a lot of sports things, and to cap off our Friday nights, Roush, for both of us, interesting internet nights for you and me on Friday evening.
Yeah.
Interesting internet nights.
Well,
we'll get to that probably a little bit later on into the show.
Right. That was a good sports night. That's where we can actually talk about the sports.
Very good sports. I thought it was a pretty good sports weekend, all things considered. So there was a lot to get to from the sports world. Not a lot of this necessarily related to sports, but Saturday was good as well. But you asked about Father's Day. It was nice. The only thing I probably wish I could have done is maybe had gone to church with the family. Wasn't able to do that. Knew that the timing with all the stuff that we had planned yesterday was going to make that tough. So, Roush, I went to 7 a.m. Mass on Saturday morning.
Which?
At St. Louis Bertrand. which has to be the prettiest church in Louisville.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, it's
definitely.
just beautiful. I know there's a lot of pretty ones downtown and some outside of town, but gosh,
That's like the old,
and they were saying
for buck.
They were saying different things at that mass. It's a Franciscan denomination, and I wonder if they just do things differently during mass. But it was different than like my St. Margaret Mary Mass, for sure. They were like saying different things with different responses where I was just looking around like,
It might be just because they're a little more traditional because we're Franciscan at St. Paul and it's not all that different.
There's a lot of like yes responses, which I just wasn't as familiar with. But maybe it was just that day. And then you had to go up to the kneeling. You got
to kneel to get communion there?
Yeah. I'd never done that before, which was interesting. That was fun. And going in, again, just trying to, and I know those masses were shorter, so I was just trying to get in church for the weekend and be a good Catholic.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm parallel parking literally right in front of the church, get a pretty good spot. A guy is parking in front of me at the same time that I'm getting there. This guy has Ave Maria bumper sticker on the back. He's got a big sticker that says, I prefer the Latin Mass on the back. He's got probably...
I bet it's a bunch of pro-life stuff.
He's got a pro-life, I'm pretty sure, on there. But it's like 24 just somewhat Christian bumper stickers on the back. This guy is a big religious guy. And we're parking at the same time. We get out. He holds the door open for me to the church, which was nice. And then we have to go through another door, so I'll hold that one open for him.
Mm-hmm.
And then he goes his way, I go my way. There's only probably about like 15 to 20 people in this ginormous church for an early morning mass. Mass goes well. I leave, and then we end up walking out together at the same time. And I hold the door open for him, and we're walking to the car. And he comes over to me, and he's probably like in his 70s, late 70s. And he's like, well, just so you know, you're not supposed to wear T-shirts or basketball shorts to church. And I'm like, what? He's talking to me. I thought he was going to like make small talk, have a good Saturday, something along those lines. But no, I get a little scolding from this older gentleman. And I wasn't wearing basketball shorts. I was wearing nice pants. There was nothing wrong with my pants, nothing even debatable about my pants. But Roush, I was wearing a shirt similar to what you're wearing right now. And that looks like you're, and again, you can go to the live stream. I just retweeted. John tweeted out the stream, which I appreciate. I just retweeted it. John, you're the man. Thanks for that. We got started a little early today, so I wasn't able to get the tweets and all that stuff out. But Roush, it's very similar to the shirt that you're wearing, although that looks like a mesh kind of sporty material. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Mine that I was wearing was just cotton, and it was forest green. And I was wearing it with like nice khaki dress pants.
It's basically, I would say it looks like a golf shirt just without the collar.
Yes, there was no collar and there was no buttons.
Collarless.
And that's, yeah, I was collarblind.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what this guy had an issue with. He says it has to have collars or a button. He told me that there's actually doctrine on this.
Oh, it's doctrine.
Yes, doctrine. And when you enter God's house, you need to look as if you were going to meet the president. And he kept, that's what he kept going back to was, would you wear what you're wearing right now to go meet the president? And I was like,
no. It's 7 a.m. Saturday morning mass, dude. You should be just grateful that somebody's there.
This is kind of in the back of my mind.
I'm glad that this wasn't regular church. Because
I was like, what if this was like my first time going back to the church? I was in a really bad place, and here's this dude with 1 million Christian bumper stickers on the back of his car coming up to me about like, hey, yeah, you're here, but you're actually not even right by being here because look at the dumb shirt you're wearing. I really had kind of an issue with him, and we had a polite and respectful back and forth where he was wearing a Team USA sweatshirt, whichever. It wasn't a hoodie.
Yeah.
But
crew neck.
It was a Team USA sweatshirt with a big USA Winter Olympic logo on it, and then it had like Pennzoil or some car company. I didn't recognize the brand, but a giant logo underneath it. And I went, sir, I maybe should wear a collar or a button, which I don't even necessarily agree with that. I don't think you should be disrespectful in church. I certainly wasn't dressed disrespectfully, but I could have been nicer, and I think there could be a lesson for me to learn there in all this. But I went, sir, but me not having a collar or button, but you having big logos on your shirt, is that any less or more disrespectful? And he went, well, I only put this on because I was cold. And if I'm not cold, see, I've got a collared shirt on underneath it.
Basically, he's just, I just don't, this guy, man.
We went back and forth a little bit, and he went, well, you seem like you're not interested in hearing the doctrine. And I was like, no, you're mistaken. I really want to hear it. you're not really getting to it. He kept asking if I knew this guy or if I knew that guy, if I knew that guy. I was like, well, no, I've never heard of these people before. And he went, well, he's got an article about what people need to be wearing to church. And if you were to meet the President Trump today, would you wear that shirt? I was like, yeah, probably. Yes, absolutely. Like, why wouldn't I? And then he ended it with saying, well, it looks like you're about ready to go to a ball game.
I think the only time we should actually enforce and judge people based on what they wear is what coaches wear on the sidelines. That's really it. Church, anywhere else, if you're not wearing a suit on the sideline, a college basketball coach ain't got time for you. And you know what? If you're a college football coach and you want to wear a shirt and tie, bonus points. I'm all for that. But all joking aside, though, like, dude, it's Saturday morning mass. You should be grateful that anybody's there.
Yeah, I think I probably will be sure to always wear a collared or a button shirt, just because I do want to look nice. But I did look nice. Like, I wasn't disrespectful what I had worn.
Yeah.
I think I agree with you. I think most people probably do.
I see people wear far worse than what you wore.
Oh yeah.
On Saturday.
At Easter Vigil, there was a group in front of me, and they were wearing like they had just got done shopping at Hot Topic.
And they're at Easter Vigil.
They're at Easter Vigil. In that, like, seriously. I mean, I guess the attire of one of the teenager girls would be considered like goth, but holes everywhere. You know, I think she was probably just there to be like a good daughter to her parents. I didn't care. She was there.
Yeah.
Right? Like, she wasn't on a Game Boy during Mass, or she wasn't making noises or hooting and hollering. If she was there, who cares what you look like? Just be there. Be in the moment. Enjoy the presence of God. 502-414-1450 is the Game Day Men's Health text line. Roush found a ginormous rat snake in our garage yesterday.
Whoa. That's fun.
Wife was breathing in weird ways. She was freaked out about it. I walked up. It was long, so, like, you know, we have a garage, and then we have a little 3-4 steps you walk up to get into the house. And there's a wood steps, kind of like a deck steps, if you will. And it was just kind of slithered up on the railing, the handrail. And I was walking up, just getting home from golf on Father's Day, and I saw it, and Roush, I did jump. I was like, whoa, that's a snake. But, like, I had a smile on my face and was like, and I was like, that's pretty big, though. Like, that's not just like a little baby one. That's a pretty big snake. So I just kind of skirted around, went inside, found the wife. I was like, hey, Hannah, I've got something to show you. Don't want you to freak out. And I don't know what she thought it was, but she had a smile on her face the entire time, so she thought it was going to be something fun. I opened the garage door, and, like, again, it's just right there. Garage door, open, the rail of, like, where you go down the steps to get to your car, snake just snaring at you. Nice big old rat snake. I'll post it on the Kentucky Roll Call on one of our social media, so you can see it there. It was huge. She freaked out. She, like, wanted to shut the door because she thought it was just going to, like, jump into the house as if snakes do that or something like that. No.
Especially a rat snake that's been chilling inside.
Exactly. So she, like, shut the door, and we kind of, what are you going to do? And I was like, I'll move it. You know, I'm not really totally, snakes just kind of freak you out in terms of, like, you don't see them in real life all that frequently. So when you do, you're like, hey, there's one. And it's a little startling, I guess would be the word to use. But I was like, I don't really have an issue with snakes. I'll move it. I'll either just kind of, like, push it into a box and then drop the box off. But there's a little part of me being like, I kind of just want to pick it up, touch it, play with it, like, see if it's friendly or not. It looked pretty chill. Like, it looked like we made eye contact. We kind of talked to each other without talking. He seemed friendly enough, or she, whatever denomination it was. I guess denomination, gender, is the word I was looking for there. Denomination of a snake.
Old church talk, snake talk.
When we came back out a little bit later, I don't know, like 30 minutes plus, it was gone. It was not in the same spot. So which really freaked more, like, when we told that story, people were like, so you don't know where it is? It could be still in your garage? I was like, probably not. Probably want to go outside and get some sunlight, I would imagine. Although our garage does feel eerily similar to the terrarium, the herbivortarium. That place at the zoo that has all the reptiles that you go to?
The herbaquarium, yeah.
And you always go in there and it feels really gross?
Yeah, it's humid.
Yeah, that's how our garage feels. So it actually probably is the perfect spot for snakes and lizards and, like, reptiles, but they do have to go outside to, like, actually get direct sunlight. So it's probably outside. Right, Roush?
I would think
in case
so.
the wife's listening, just let her know.
It's got to sunbathe. It's got to warm up.
Got to go out there. We don't have any hot rocks in our garage. If you ever see a snake in somebody's house, they have the little plug-in hot rock. We don't have one of those. Outside is its natural hot rock. Also, there's a deer in our backyard, which is not uncommon to see deer in our neighborhood at all, but it was like in the fence part.
Oh.
Yeah, I'd never seen that before.
That's fun.
And then I made eye contact with that, and we said what's up to each other, and then it ran off, and it just jumped the fence like it was nothing. It was actually pretty cool to see. Golfed yesterday for Father's Day. First time golfing since the Big X Scramble.
That'd feel good.
Maybe the family scramble a week after the Big X, but pretty much for all intents and purposes.
First of the year, though. First of the year.
I had 2 birdies on the back 9, which is great. I shot like an 89 or 90. For first time out, I was pretty happy with it. Maybe a generous 89 or 90 for what it was worth.
I got to give a shout out to my buddy, but also criticize him because he got his first ace yesterday. First hole-in-one, yeah.
My goodness,
This is the same one who would say that he got an ace on the little pool noodle ones. So good news, he no longer has to tell that lie anymore.
That is ginormous for him.
Huge for him. But also he didn't pound a bunch of beers afterwards. Dude, you just hit a hole-in-one on Father's Day.
If you've got
it's your duty is to drink beers and buy them. You buy.
So he had a hole-in-one with the pool noodles. I think you have to count it, unfortunately.
No, I'm not counting it.
I mean, he can't help it. He can't help that the noodles were there.
No, I know, but I'm still just now he could say it and then include the asterisk. But now he's asteriskless.
He's without an asterisk.
Yeah.
That's awesome though. Yeah, so he didn't have I don't know if that's good in the karma realm of golf.
Oh, yeah.
Don't know if that's a good move. Did he buy any for anybody else?
That I need to confirm or deny, but
if
I was like,
sorry. For everybody else, he'll be good. And
so if he just bought like all around and then didn't, Because my thing, if like it's Father's Day, he's like, well, I didn't want to be hungover on this. I got a lot of work to do. I'm like, dude, it's Father's Day. You can crack a couple cold ones. You don't have to.
I was playing at Harmony Landing yesterday, and the cool thing about Harmony, it's a lot of cool things about Harmony. It's a beautiful course, but 18 comes up to the clubhouse, as golf courses often will, and they've got like their patio area by the green and the pool areas by the green, and people can kind of watch people coming in as you're getting drinks off the course and whatnot, which is nice. And probably one of my best golf shots, certainly top 10, maybe top 5 in my entire life. About 170, 180 out on 18, Roush. I put it within 6 inches.
Oh, man, that's awesome.
And
that far out, too? Like a $170? That's a long
uphill shot, wind coming at us. I think I went 5-iron. And you can't see the green from where I was at because the elevation's high.
Right.
But I knew I hit it really, really well. It looked like it was right at the flag.
You're worried, did I hit it too well? Yes. Is it over?
Yeah, that's normally like in those situations, you're like, it either is really, really good or it's a little bit long. But that felt really good. I can't wait to go up there and see it. And I go up there and see it. And that thing, if I would have been able to watch it, because it landed about like probably 15 feet short, and it rolled just shy of, it probably would have been like a ball turn and a half from me getting an eagle as it was going uphill. And I'm like, man, I bet people, when they saw that, they were probably freaking out. Nobody was out on the patio. Nobody was outside. Nobody saw it. Nobody saw anything.
No.
But I was, the group that I was with, my family, they got to see it. They all thought it was really cool and fun.
But you didn't get to like wave to the crowd.
Didn't get to live in the glory of it or whatnot. But that was great. Great way to finish the round, and it was fun getting back out there. Still, 4 or 5 hour day of golf. Chews up a lot of time.
Yeah,
but good Father's Day, and that's our weekend.
It was a big weekend, like I said. Very big weekend.
Yeah.
Hope you all got to enjoy it.
Hopefully, all the dads, the roll call dads out there, were able to enjoy it. There's a lot of sports though: hockey, baseball, basketball. Vince Marrow's still doing interviews.
I think he just did another one, too.
No, he did. Did he really?
I'm kidding.
Okay.
No, he did a video.
Well, we're going to play that as well?
Oh, no. Do we have to?
Well, the piano in the background is really soothing. Some people may like that. And we're going to read your text on the Game Day Men's Health text line, 502-414-1450. Game Day Men's Health, They're redefining men's wellness. No shortcuts, just results, testosterone, peptides, weight loss, and sexual performance therapy. You can visit GameDayMen'sHealth.com to finding a new era in men's health. We'll be back. This is Kentucky Roll Call on Big X Sports Radio.
The big story is Vince Morrow. He's headed to the University of Louisville to work for Jeff Brom as the head of player personnel. This is a very interesting.
Excellence, building a better tomorrow.
Tolerance for literally anything, and if so, it seems slightly self-inflicted here. Right? Yeah, self-destruct button. Push button on the self-destruct. There's no reason to have this. And I have to take a shot. It's got to happen. It's got to happen. T.J. Walker, the catwalker, the cat talker.
Oh, boy.
He tweeted this. Okay? Mac failed to follow university guidelines, policies, and procedures, and me didn't have the scoop. The cover-up continues. TJ, I want you to hear this, and I want you to hear it very, very clearly. I'm calling you out. I added you on Twitter just so you can understand, you hypocrite, coward ass. Okay? It's on my website. I'm talking about it on the radio. It's on my Twitter, Facebook, whatever it is. I am not rubbing. I don't need my belly rubs from Vince Tyree or Scott Satterfield or John Calipari. You enjoy those belly rubs, TJ Walker. You goat. You sheep. Why don't you go get shaved up, okay? Because the hypocrite cowardice that you all showed on your freaking violent accusations from a football team is disgraceful. And I'm going to talk about what's happened here at the U of L, and you won't talk about any of it. You are a coward. I will out at you, and I will say this publicly. You are nothing. You want to talk about this on Twitter, that's no problem. I'm saying this to everyone. The entire city of Louisville listens to 93.9 The Ville, and they will replay it on ESPN 680. You are a hypocrite coward. And there is absolutely zero correlation between what happened here at U of L and the violent cover-up acts of your football program. Do you understand that, you piece of garbage? Got it out.
That was bizarre.
You feel that?
Welcome back. Kentucky Roll Call here on Big X Sports Radio, 96.1 FM, 1450 AM. That audio from Mark Blankenbaker over at ESPN 680 does not get played nearly enough. That was from 2021.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the Louisville man, and that is actually one of the first things I saw was him getting mad at you over. I can't really tell what he's so upset with you over.
Again, they're just so easy to rile up, and they just they take the bait nearly every single time. I think I was getting on him about not like covering Chris Mack, something that happened.
Was it the Dino Gaudio audio?
It could have been the Gaudio audio potentially.
That's a lot to say.
I'm not 100%. I'm just
Gaudio audio.
Reading the replies are so funny. Somebody said, freaking violent accusations from your football team, and they did a screenshot of when U of L had 2 players out with gunshot wound injuries. James Hearn, gunshot wound, out. And then right above that it says Shaq Wiggins, ankle, out.
All-time graphic. It was the bowl game, too. It was, I think, the one that Lamar lost in Gator Bowl, I want to say.
So, naturally, U of L plays an incredible baseball game on Friday night. That was just good baseball.
Oh, yeah. It was
that happened in Omaha, and the stakes being as high as they were, and then a game that was just played at a high level, and, obviously mistakes because that's college baseball, but just the drama, exciting finish, Louisville ties it up.
Yeah, and if you all didn't see, it's one of the more ridiculous plays ever that tied it up because they had an overthrow at first. The catcher was there not right away to back it up, but he made a quick rally, and he was trying to throw out the guy at second, and when he picks up the ball and puts it behind his ear to throw it, he just drops the ball behind his head, and then he can't find the ball. I still don't know how that happened, TJ, because it was almost like somebody in the dugout reached over and grabbed the ball and was like, I've got your ball. Yeah. I've got your ball. But he just couldn't find it. And so he could have easily been out at first. And instead, the tying run gets to third, and they end up tying it up with the next batter, I believe, there in the top of the ninth.
Louisville loses.
Yeah, and it was kind of funny because right afterwards they're like, well, Oregon State's got the top of their lineup up here, including their all-time home run hitter, most clutch hitter in Oregon State history. Oh, there's one down to the third base line. Game over.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a hard hit line drop.
So I just tweet out, I thought that this would be an optimistic tweet for the Louisville faithful on a Friday night. And I know that I'm tweeting this out within minutes of them losing a soul-crushing game in Omaha on a Friday night when they had probably been getting after it on a summer Friday. Father's Day weekend, people probably started a little early on the drinking and the boozing. So I may have known a little bit of what I was doing.
Oh, yeah. It was fun.
But it was a positive tweet. It wasn't even a negative tweet. All I said is that, hey, U of L lost. The good news is Dan McDonald's familiar with the Omaha's losers bracket. That's all.
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't you rather have somebody familiar with the losers bracket if you're in the losers bracket than somebody that's in uncharted territory and may freak out being in the losers bracket? And guess which coach yesterday looked like they'd been in the losers bracket before?
Dan
frickin' McDonald looked like he had been in the losers bracket before. Because did the Cards give up in the 8th inning, Roush? Heck no, they didn't. They kept fighting because that was a coach that knows a thing or two about being in the losers bracket at Omaha and what it takes to maybe win one game before you lose another one. All right? So it was a positive tweet. And, of course, Louisville fans, the drunkards that they are, they all freak out about it, including Deputy Doofus, who says, your ass is familiar being home for Flag Day and Father's Day.
See, the thing is like I did the boring one. I just did the Dan McDonald can't win the big one, right? Or like, man, I've never seen my team lose in the first round of the College World Series. Because have they? No. But you, TJ, you got them. And, man, they really... they fell for it, buddy. They really fell for it. Good job.
And I didn't need Mark Blankenbaker, a.k.a. Deputy Doofus, to remind me that with the exception of 2024, pretty much every Flag Day, Roush, I've spent alone, all by myself, sad. You know, every Louisville fan associates Flag Day with Omaha, right?
I mean,
they've been to the World Series 6 times, or however many times it's been. So when they think, U of L fans, Mark Blankenbaker, and they think of Flag Day, of course, they associate that with Omaha like everybody in college baseball does. Flag Day and Father's Day sitting home. We really did miss a good opportunity if U of L was eliminated on Father's Day for me to have a good tweet back. But unfortunately, Louisville won, and now they will play Oregon State in the losers bracket. Winner go home, or loser go home. Winner has to beat Coastal Carolina twice, right, Roush?
Correct.
And then on the other side of things, Murray State, goodness gracious, gave UCLA everything that they could handle. Would not go away in that game.
What, 6-1?
Yeah.
Came back?
Would not go away. And came up just short, lost by 2. So they will take on Arkansas today. It's just a brutal draw for Murray State. And if they lose, their dream run is over. But I really want them to get one game in Omaha. Odds are heavily against that happening, according to Vegas.
They took care of one SEC team. You know?
You're right. They can do it again. But I'm rooting for them to get it done. They'll play again today, and then it'll be LSU, UCLA in the winners bracket on the other side of things. So Arizona, unlike U of L men's basketball, U of L men's baseball, not the first team eliminated. Of course, that would be from Omaha versus the overall over tournament, so apples and oranges. But Arizona, the first team to go home in Omaha, and more baseball coming after we get off the air today. Get your text into the Game Day Men's Health text line, 502-414-1450.
TJ, I was wrong. When I was joking about Vince Merrill doing another interview, he did one.
So, like, when you were joking about it, ended up being a truthful joke.
Yes, he
that happens, actually.
He was talking to our guy, High Take Torres.
Oh, I actually knew about that one.
Oh, okay.
But although the quotes that were coming out of that one, Roush, it's 2025 and it's the internet age, so you can never really truly believe everything that you're seeing. Mm-hmm. There's are those basketball quotes real from him?
I don't know.
Did you see what I was talking about?
No, I just was alerted to because apparently I got in his crosshairs for his Sunday 6:30 WLAP interview.
He's doing so many interviews.
So many.
This dude loves himself, which is totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that. And secondly, he's going to miss the UK media so much. Like, have fun chumming it up with Rummage and Deputy Doofus when you need a microphone, big dog, or little pup. Woof, 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 woof. The Torres interview, there were quotes coming out. And again, I haven't listened to it. I tried to listen to all of the interviews that he did last week, so I knew what I was talking about.
I got nauseated by Friday afternoon.
The Terry Miners, he would open up a little bit more each and every interview, and then the ensuing interview, and again, I didn't get to listen to the ones on Sunday or with Torres, but I'd almost guarantee. And why is Aaron Torres and Vince, the big dog, doing an interview? Of course they are.
I know, like Torres' college basketball. He does college football too, but I don't know. Just feels a little weird.
Well, he probably just reached out, and Vince was probably like, you talk to you? Anybody? Microphone? Me? Sure, I'll do it.
I just...
You were in the crosshairs?
Yeah. Because I just said, I did the recruiting thing last week, so, he's going to chirp back. But then he said he's like, Nick Roush, don't know what he's talking about, but look it, he's all right.
Seriously?
Yeah. I didn't listen to it because apparently it's all over the place, that interview. The parts though that I just like, to what you said, where each interview he gives a little bit more. I just don't know how. Like I believe it less the more he says. You know what I mean? If that does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like it's just like I feel like you're really the don't protest too much sort of deal. It was really. If Mark would have just called me, then I'd still be there.
Dude!
Like, I mean...
That was a pretty big quote.
I know, but at the same time, I'm like, is that really how it was, Vince? Why didn't you say this sooner then? I don't know. There's just...
Well, then why didn't you mention that in the 3 other interviews you were talking about earlier as well?
Exactly.
How does this come up in interview number 4 with your buddy Terry?
I know. That's why I'm a little, skeptical.
And then he was like, Terry, you were there that night. You saw that. You saw that emotional dinner that we had.
And was he talking about when, that was at a Kentucky-Louisville basketball game? Is that what he was talking about? Or is this a different?
I think that was, I don't know. I
didn't know if he was talking about different meals or not.
So it's tough. I think he was talking about a separate one because he was talking about how he had already made the decision and how emotional it was. But theoretically, could that have happened in December or where he was just like, I will not be at UK next year, but we'll do the rigmarole for a few months to make it, whatever. I don't know. But I think it was a more recent dinner, but it's tough to say for sure. So we're gonna talk about that Terry Miners interview. We'll talk about the Torres interview. I'm over Vince Marrow talk. I truly am. But he won't stop talking, so we have to react on the things that he's saying. But today will probably be the last day unless there's just more newsworthy things that we have to touch on. But I'm fatigued with it. Yeah. I'm sure you are. This came from Athlete Advantage. I'm going to actually speed it up a little bit.
Collective.
It's the UK Collective, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm speeding up the speed a little bit. It's a minute long. It'll be quicker than a minute. Here you go. The Little Pup, one final time.
To you guys, the Big Blue Nation, I really love you guys, and I really, really appreciate because you guys really helped me build my career here with your support. From when I first came here, I remember a buddy told me, why are you going here? You guys going to be fired in 2 years. I was the lowest paid coach. I heard all the jokes. I wanted to build and bring players in so we can win and we can have some pride and dignity. It is hard. I'm not going to even sugarcoat it. It's hard because of my loyalty to really you guys, the fans. But this is a job opportunity I feel I can't pass up. I passed up several other ones that people, you guys as the fans know. But just like a lot of you guys, you got families, a lot of you guys had opportunities with different jobs, and you move and take it. You doing what's best for your family. I'm doing what's best for my career. I really enjoyed being here 13 years.
I like that. He's like, you all do what's best for your families. That's very similar. I'm just like you. I'm doing what's best for my career. No, Vince, you're supposed to face family there. You're doing what's best for your family. No, it's best for your career.
Because you guys are a really good fan base. To the Big Blue Nation.
I thought we were the best fan base. You used to always say there was nobody better than BBN. But now you're saying we're really good, and he's about to say that UK is one of the best. He no longer can say the best.
One of the best. I'm pretty sure they're going to boo me when I come back, though. But I really do love it.
Well, the fun little, I'm on different side. You're going to boo me. That was embarrassing. That was embarrassing for Athlete Advantage to put out there. That was embarrassing from the Little Pup, just to the little piano music in the background to try to garner sympathy from people, to try to compare somebody that makes millions of dollars to just coach football, using air quotes around the word coach, but you get millions of dollars, and to compare that to somebody who's like, hey, I may get an extra $5,000 if I take over this job. The hours are going to be different, but this could really help us. To compare it to that, stop. This wasn't like a big money move. You're actually potentially making less money, it seems, to make this move. But it's a sinking ship, and you're gone. And people aren't going to be your buddy. Like your good friends that were truly your friends, they should still be your friends, and that's great. But UK fans aren't going to think highly of you anymore. You went to Louisville. This is all the stuff I said last week, Roush. But you left a pretty bad spot. Everything always has to center around him, too. People told me, I heard, like, he's talking about, like, hey, I remember how bad you all were and how much people made fun of me for taking that job. But, hey, we turned you into something kind of not too terrible, right? And sure, things were really, really bad again.
It's just so,
but like we turned you into a pretty attractive person for a little while. Remember those times? All right, I'm out of here. Bad video, athlete advantage. What are you doing? It's rightfully getting crushed, and it's nothing but rummage and deputy doofus for you, little dog, little pup. We don't want to hear from you anymore. I genuinely feel that. I wish you the best as a human, and Louisville's a great place to live. But it's going to be a lot different for you, and you got to come to grips with that.
We just move on. Do your thing. Louisville got a commitment over Kentucky on Sunday. I would just be preaching that gospel, talking all that talk. Now, I don't think he had anything to do with it, but this kid was supposed to visit UK tomorrow and said he's committing to Louisville. I would be bragging about that online instead of just trying to save face or whatever he's doing. I just don't understand the saving. Like it is what it is. You're still gonna have your friends, but you're not gonna be. You aren't changing people's minds with a video. Your actions speak much louder than your words.
Nobody's gonna see that video and be like, you know what? I was pretty worked up about it, but now I'll be rooting for him at Louisville. Like, no, you're at Louisville. People don't want Louisville to do well. Now you're there, so by association, they don't want. I hope Louisville has the best. Well, he's not even coaching the tight ends. I hope he brings in millions to their programs. No, you don't. You don't. I don't wish he does a great job at U of L. I hope his time at U of L is filled with a bunch of losses. And if that is the case, which I don't think it will be this year, unfortunately, if it is the case, he's going to be made the scapegoat. I hope he's ready for that. But that's all right. We've all moved on from it. UK football, just figure things out or find some people in that will. But, yeah, he did a lot of talking. And then the Torres interviews were like him saying that he could recruit for basketball.
I mean, he did. I mean, not really recruit for him, but he helped him get some guys. But when I say guys, Jasper Johnson was one of them.
Yeah, it was just it very much like hinted on the, oh, wait, didn't you all make a huge stink about the football-basketball school argument? And then now here you are just saying that.
Right.
That exact same thing.
Fair enough.
But I didn't get to hear that one, so we'll leave that one alone.
That'll just keep the story going a little bit longer. I'm sure everybody's thrilled to hear more and more about it.
Yep, that's the way that it normally goes. All right, let's read a couple texts here on the Game Day Men's Health text line, 502-414-1450. Texter says, I have $13,158 in bonus bets to place in the next week. That cannot be real.
Unless they made, where they will match up to X, Y, and Z. Maybe that's the case. Or maybe they could be referring to points.
Like, what kind of bonus bets do you have to, what are you getting with those? That's really exciting.
I bet it's one of those things where it's the points and there's like a different ratio for that, maybe.
I'd like to think it's just one bet.
Because I know that they have like a different system for like Twin Spires. That isn't just like bonus.
Oh, okay. They detailed it a little bit more above. Hey, fellas, I won the King of the Course DraftKings contest over the weekend. I trust TJ betting knowledge. Any advice for me? And they sent the picture, and he's not joking.
Oh, wow.
He's got 1,000, like they're $1,000 increment bets.
Wow.
Whoa. We may have to text her. We may have to reach out.
That's crazy.
That's incredible. How many did he say he got?
$13,158.
So you should have, what, $1,000 bonus bets?
And a $158 bonus bet.
Oh, my goodness.
That's crazy.
I mean, you got to put those on futures, right? That's what I would do. A free future bet, and you kind of get to, one has to go on UK National Championship, right? All right, that's what we're talking about in hour number 2.
I'm doing the money on favorite, maybe.
Well, we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
That's good for you, buddy. Congrats.
Wow, that's awesome.
We're going to talk golf. You watch the golf? Oh, no. I'm excited to talk the golf. All right,
we'll talk some of the golf.
You got to watch the highlights of the golf. Got to talk the golf. Got to talk the basketball. Got to talk the Mark Pope. We'll talk it all. This is Kentucky Roll Call on Big X Sports Radio.
Indiana's only locally owned sports talk. The Big X, AM 1450 and 96.1 FM, WX.
Welcome back. Hour number 2, Kentucky Roll Call.
Oh, Kyle.
You're on Big X Sports Radio, 96.1 FM, 1450 AM.
Oh, man. I've got some exciting news to share, TJ.
Is it breaking news?
It's not necessarily breaking, but it is exciting news to share.
Oh, I wish we had an exciting news sound break.
This week at Salsaritas, all week long, June 16th through the 22nd, you get a free Dream Cake dip with any purchase. And you say, okay, what's Dream Cake dip? What are we exactly talking about here, Roush? It's a creamy, dreamy dessert. Churro meets cheesecake in this highly addictive dessert dip. I love churros. I love cheesecake. So it's like a fluffy whip. And TJ, you just use the wildly addictive chips with the sweet. You get sweet, salty. That sounds incredible. Amazing.
Yeah, that is awesome.
So going in, stop by your Salsaritas today. Use your app when you go too, because you get all the bonus points. And get yourself some churro dream cake dip free with any purchase this week at Salsaritas. They've got a location in Middletown, one in St. Matthews, and one in Shepherdsville. And man, wildly addictive chips. The 1-2 punch just got even better. Not only the freshest salsa, but now they got this dream cake dip from Salsaritas. Go check it out today. Funny aside, TJ, I've got a new Salsaritas ad to do for the regular commercials, and Scoot sent it to me, and there's a word that I didn't know in there. It's a new salsa that they have for the summer, and I was just like, I don't know what this word is, so I'm just going to say something. It was spelled SRACCI, and that's not a word. So like I tried to look up how to pronounce it. It's just not a word. So I was like, the Sarasi. Scoots is like, I don't think that's how you pronounce it.
And what ended up happening?
He got back with me. I've got to record it later on, but it's a different pronunciation. I still don't believe him. Like I don't think that whatever he told me was the correct one. He said sriracha, but if it's sriracha, wouldn't it just be sriracha?
Yes. Yeah, sriracha is not a thing, right?
Yeah.
Excuse my naivety and ignorance, but I don't think sriracha is a thing.
Exactly. So I think they just told us, I think I'm going to sound like an idiot no matter what. Is what I'm letting you know. But if they wanted to say sriracha.
Is it chewing?
No, not Szechuan. That's what you're looking at.
Well, that word popped up when you're like, what's a misspelling for sriracha? That one pops up.
Yeah. There was another. I think there's like an Indian word that's strachi, but that was sriracha.
How'd they spell it?
SRACCI. And then when asked for the pronunciation,
SRCCI.
SRA, excuse me, CCI.
I mean,
Sriracha. Which when Scooch is like, I think they mean sriracha, and I was like, but that's not even close. That's just not. And then he asked her to follow up, and they said sriracha. So maybe they just pronounce like the individual just pronounces sriracha, and because I always joked, one of my aunts, she would call she would call cilantro, and now like I will sometimes say cilantro just because it's fun, but that's not how it works. That's not how you pronounce it.
I gotta know what they were trying to say there. But just know it's Salsaritas. It's all going to be good, whatever it may be.
Sriracha, sarasa. Whatever. It's going to be good.
We had a texter on the Game Day Men's Health text line, 502-414-1450, who has 13 $1,000 bonus bets. You have to use them in the next week. Incredible.
Yeah, it really is incredible.
All right, here's what you do. You give Roush and I one. Just because, right, Roush?
Yeah.
Let's just say this. Here, let's do it this way. He's not going to, and totally understand.
I wouldn't do it.
But let's say he gave you one and he gave me one.
I would do some very deep digging on college football win totals because that is one of my. I feel like I'm at like a. I can't say this to be certain because I don't keep my records, but I feel like I'm hitting at like a 70% clip, and sometimes I'm stretching, like I'm doing like a funny one just for the bit of the show we'll do. But those college football win totals, I think there's a very good science to it, more so than others, because a lot of it is schedule-based, returning production-based, or the other part you have is like turnover margin with some of these teams. Like there's a lot that you can see easy regression for a lot of these programs. Like when they got by with close wins, they won a lot of one-score games, and they had some turnover luck. The schedule is kind of favorable for them, and I need to see the number, but Tennessee is one that's intriguing to me. because they're breaking a new quarterback. A lot was riding on him. Now their defense is still going to be good, but nevertheless, like I think you can boil it down by identifying, hey, here's how many toss-up games is this team playing, and if you can find some locks pretty easily. I'm like, all right, well, I know they can get to 5. Are they going to get 3 more out of this? So I think there can be a sweet science in there with finding a right college football win total. Obviously, I haven't dove into all of the teams and all of that yet, but I feel like this texter could do some good hunting this week. Just spend an evening, and you could lock up 1 or 2 that you feel really good about.
I sent it to my gambling guy, who bets just all the time. Like we'll talk gambling on this show, Roush, but like this guy lives it.
Yes.
We talk.
Everybody has a friend like that. Yeah.
And he got back to me quickly, although he did misinterpret he thought they were $1,300 bonus bets, not $1,000 bonus bets. So I don't know if that changes this, but it is an interesting option. His first thing that he said was, is he looking just to turn that into guaranteed money, or is he trying to hit it big and let it ride?
Very, very true. Like that's a very important question.
And that is, Texter, if you're still listening, I know some people at lunch can only listen during their lunch break, got to go back to work. Podcast listeners, wherever you get your podcast.
Oh, he's locked in right now.
Okay, what'd he say?
He said, I'll place one if you can both agree on one bet. It'll be ours to follow. So we can have a Kentucky roll call future in this.
Wow.
Okay.
Here's what he suggested, and I like this for this fella. But he said he said 1,300. He was mistaken on the bet amount, but he said you could put that on all 10 first basket options tonight. You'd pocket at least 6,200, at most over 21,000.
Oh, wow.
Because somebody has to score a first basket.
Yeah.
Like somebody's scoring.
Yeah.
So you could theoretically do that where you at least know you're winning. But here's the gambler in you.
Yeah.
You know you're throwing away, like what, 6 $1,000 bonus bets that theoretically could be worth money, each and every one individually by themselves. However, just think about if like the longest shot that you would bet is out on the floor and he lets go a 22-footer jump shot. Imagine the thrill of that. Knowing that shot, you could have maybe $20,000 riding on it.
Pascal Siakam's pulling early in the shot clock. Oh, I don't know about that shot, but man. I was thinking too, like conference champion odds. You might be able to find some decent prices in there as a fun future. Like Clemson feels like a lock to win the ACC this year in football. And that's plus 110. That's not great odds though. Not great juice. But if you're looking for just a winning future, that feels like a pretty good looking one.
I hate saying this, especially.
Hey, you know what could be a fun one, TJ? Do they have college basketball
futures?
Because
well, what are you thinking?
Will Wade at NC State, man. I
don't think you can do like individual bets on basketball teams just yet.
Because there's
over win total or Final Four,
or like win the ACC.
Oh, you could probably find that. Somewhere.
Yeah,
you'd like that. I don't think they're going to win the ACC.
But
a Final Four bet would be fun on them because they'll be good. They play hard. Will Wade's teams always play hard for them. And it's the Final Four. There's weird teams that make it. That wouldn't be the worst one in the world. Pat Forty tweeted out earlier some of the Bet Online odds for making the college football playoff.
Okay.
Who do you think has the best chance percentage-wise to make the college football playoff?
Ohio State.
Correct. They have it rounding up a 77% chance.
Yeah, I would have Texas.
75%. You're 2 for 2, buddy. You want to keep going?
Sure. Penn State's preseason number 1 a lot, so
they've been number 5 at 71%.
Okay.
Number 3 is still in the Big Ten.
Oregon.
Yep. Number 4 in the SEC.
Georgia.
Oh boy. And then Penn State, number 6 SEC.
Bama.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And then Notre Dame. But
so are these
a huge drop off from number 5 to number 6 Alabama, from Penn State to Alabama, goes 71% to 60%. And that's from Bet Online. Sadly, one bet that I do like at plus 330 to make the playoff U of L.
Yeah.
And my U of L friends were like, what? That juice? Like, I'm happy that we've got good odds, but that juice, you would think it'd be better. Not really.
It's the ACC.
It's the ACC. People love Brom.
If you're the top 2 team in it, Miller Moss.
Yeah,
like,
you're returning 2 running backs that are thought to be some of the better ones in the ACC, and rightfully so because they are. So I think plus 330 on U of L to make the playoff is actually a good number, not a bad number. Tennessee's plus 225 to make the playoff. They have better odds than U of L to make the playoff. Are you drunk?
I think it's just because they're big fan base too, and they don't want to take a bath if they get a lot of money on them.
Absolutely, yeah, I know how that. Well, UK basketball suffers from that on the other side of that from time to time. But I would say U of L making the college football playoff, where at least if they do, Texter, you'd be like, hey, I'm gonna win what $3,300 on this.
I had a Penn State playoff one that was only like plus 150, but it was just the most easy money I've ever had on a future. I didn't sweat it for 1 second throughout the entire season. So that is kind of fun when you've got just some plus money on a playoff team. LSU is one that I feel pretty good about at plus money as well. Plus 125.
Yeah, it kind of seems like if it doesn't happen for Brian Kelly with this, this roster.
Nussmeier doesn't have great Heisman odds, but like I feel like he is the front runner for that as well. It's 9-1. It's not great, but he's going to put up some silly numbers this year. Absolutely ridiculous numbers. That guy, he's not going to get the Arch Manning preseason talk, but it's going to be pretty nutty. And if you really want a long shot, Lenore Sellers is going to get a ton of hype this year because he's a fun quarterback. I'd be fading him, man. I'd be fading him because his offense coordinator left. So I don't know. I just gave some conflicting info. Sorry about that, Texter.
He's thinking it all out in his head as is. And that's all right.
Because I saw Bruce Feldman. They have Lenore Sellers as the number 2 quarterback in the draft next year. That came out with Dane Brugler, The Athletic, his mock draft today. And I cannot get over Dow Loggins choosing to leave to go coach App State. I know that is one of the better G5 jobs out there. But it's like, man, if you got a meal ticket like Lenore Sellers, and he did this well as his first year of a starter, and you think that he can be a real meal ticket, you could go all the way up to the Power 5, buddy. If that guy's good enough, you stick around for another year. That part of it, I can't walk past this season.
In the college basketball world, I don't really like any team futures besides either UK at plus 1,800 for national championship.
Because that's really the only wagers they have, right?
Yes.
National championship.
And they've got Wooden Award, which I'm going to bring up here in a second. Kentucky at plus 1,800. I like that. And BYU at plus 1,700 to win the national championship.
Yeah, those are good.
Those are
sprinkles. I don't know if I'm using my $1,000 bonus bet on it.
I also don't know that either, but I just wanted to give the guys some options because I do like both those. I could see both those hitting. Really, Arkansas plus 2,200. I wouldn't pick a team beneath them to win the national championship. Arkansas would probably be as far as I'd be willing to go at plus 2,200. Normally, Roush, you'll see like one, you'll see a 3,600 one that you think is interesting or something like that. I really don't. Maybe somebody likes Gonzaga at plus 5,500. NC State at plus 6,000, Roush mentioned. Illinois at plus 5,000 is intriguing. They're going to be good. Probably not national championship good. Certainly not national championship good. But Wooden Award.
These are fun.
I like Axel Lindenberg to win the Wooden Award because he's just going to be a double-double machine at Michigan, and he'll get a ton of publicity and all that stuff, and he's one of the highest-paid players in college basketball. I don't like it at plus 1,000. I don't like Braden Smith at plus 600.
Those odds are too low, man.
However, I do like Otega Away at plus 2,500.
And I love Boogie Flan at plus 2,500.
That's another one that I had circled. Boogie Flan at plus 2,500. And then I would also put out there Alex Caravan at UConn, just because UConn, he's going to be solo ball, some people could say him, but he's the more familiar face at UConn, and they're going to be a top 5, top 10 team. So it may be worth the sprinkle on them. I certainly don't think he's the best player in the country by any stretch of the imagination.
But my issue with Caravan is just he needed to be the big dog last year.
He wasn't.
Yeah, he was the wool pup.
That's fair, but then, that guy that they got from St. Mary's, he ended up kind of being cheeks, Ada Mahaney.
Oh, yeah.
What's his name?
Man, I was so wrong on Aiden Mahaney, too, last year.
I wasn't really crazy about him.
Yeah, I was wrong. Very wrong.
I was more right than wrong in the transfer portal, but I had some Lamont Butler reservations that obviously aged terribly, terribly, terribly wrong. So I wasn't perfect in the portal, but I was not super high on Mahaney for what it was worth. That being said, I like Ortega. I like, and then one on these Houston I actually think is really good. You can do both of them if you've got 13 $1,000 bets. However, Milos Uzan at Houston at plus 4,000.
I know.
Or if you like Emmanuel Sharp at plus 3,000. But Houston's going to probably be the number one team for the majority of the season.
Right.
I can't imagine they're going to slip out of the top 5 really at any point. Certainly won't slip out of the top 10. So if you're talking about a team that's universally going to be thought of as one of the best teams in the country, may not be the worst thing in the world to just roll the dice on one of those two players being considered one of the best players in the country. And Uzan at plus 4,000, I'd be more likely to take him than Emmanuel Sharp. I know many college basketball nerds would disagree with me on that, but you're getting Uzan at a better number. But he's a little bit more defensive-oriented, Roush, and that doesn't always translate over to the Wooden Award. So there you go. I know we didn't give you anything definitive except for the betting everybody to score tonight just so you at least secure something.
Yeah.
But we wanted to throw at least some things out.
And it's fun to just talk sports instead of all of the...
Fun doing some gambling.
My question for you, TJ...
He placed one at Kentucky to win at plus 1,800. All right.
There we go.
There you go. That'd be very exciting.
I'm fascinated about what your thoughts just on what AJ DeBansta will do this year, because this award is very much biased against freshmen. If you go back and look at the history of it, there's Anthony Davis is one. We did just have one last year with Cooper Flagg, Anthony Davis, Cooper Flagg, Zion Williamson, and that's it until you get to Kevin Durant. And I don't think there was even one before that. So there's only 4 freshmen that have ever won this award. So
yeah,
do we think that DeBansta can be as
he won't win it
transcendent as those guys? Because that's the thing is like the way people talk about DeBansta, it does have some of that air to him. But is he going to be that good right away for BYU?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I think he is obviously very, very good, but I think BYU being as good as they're going to be around him. Even if he dominates, people are going to have a convenient excuse of, well, he plays on a great team. He's got a loaded roster. I mean, because BYU is going to be pretty good.
I mean, you had that excuse with Zion, though, and Davis.
But, yes, but their numbers were so freakishly good. I mean, Davis had more block shots than a bunch
of teams,
15 college basketball teams. You just couldn't really help. Zion was maybe more of a shock thing sort of deal. But I think that's part of the reason why you don't see so many freshmen win is because sometimes it's just when you're on a good team, it gets balanced around more. If DeSpance's numbers were crazy, then I think he could win it. I don't think they're going to be good enough to win it because he's on a good team.
How that works out with him and Richie Sanders too, and they got a really good big man. He's a rim runner. I forget his name, but they're going to be a fun team. They're going to be a fun team.
They're going to be very good.
Big 12, Pac-12 After Dark with the BYU Cougars.
So you didn't have fun watching the U.S. Open, though? BYU basketball will be fun to watch, but you didn't have fun watching Oakmont, a course that I've played twice.
I watched them Saturday when it's all the guys who were far down the leaderboard, and then I got some in on Sunday, but we had the rain delay, which kind of threw things off a little bit.
I was so confused.
Yeah, but quickly on the rain delay, very glad that they just put on the Tiger Torrey Pines replay. They didn't do the entire thing. Like, they kind of sped up because the rain delay was ending, so they sped up the playoff. The thing that I just completely had forgotten was that in the playoff, they actually went to more playoff holes. So they played 2 bonus holes in the playoff. Is that right? Or was that more than 2? So they played 20 holes on Monday?
Right? I don't know.
Because it was crazy that, like, Rocco had a chance to win it with the long birdie putt, and then he just pushed it, and it wasn't even close, and then Tiger ends up hitting it to win. But that was fun, just to kind of, like, oh, man. We talk about this a ton, but, oh, my gosh, it was as incredible as I remember.
Yeah, I like that people were like, don't put on the real one. Just let's keep running this.
It was the 19th hole.
Okay.
So not the 20th. But that was awesome. And then when they came back from the rain delay too, it's very funny that like it just immediately one guy's hitting into the. I have a different term for it that I don't know if I'm allowed to say it on radio, so I won't.
Yeah, press, good idea.
But like, what do they call it? The natural grass.
The fescue.
Yeah, fescue's a type of grass. The really long stuff.
Cabbage.
The really, really long stuff. I mean, he immediately drove it into there, and another guy drove it into another spot. Seeing them having to put the flags in the ground for all of those shots in the rough, I'm just like, how do you all hit out of this? I don't understand. And I don't understand how J.J. Spahn can go from, what was it, 5 bogeys on the front to 4 birdies in his last 7 holes.
It's weird.
It's crazy, man.
But J.J. Spahn wins it at 1 under. Did you see the putt?
Oh, my gosh.
Were you watching live?
Angles. I was not watching live, though, unfortunately.
I was watching that live, and
he just had a 2-putt.
We were doing bedtime, bath time sort of deal. He just had a 2-putt from 65 feet, which, weirdly enough, my Uncle Rich, when we were out golfing, he hit probably about a 60-footer. It was one of the longer putts I've been in a group with and seen gone in, and it was incredible, and it was just true the entire way. And needless to say, Uncle Rich, it wasn't the best putt that I would see that day somehow. But unfortunately, you're not on the PGA Tour. The person that I did see hit it, J.J. Spahn, is and won, what, $21 million? Was that the prize for the U.S. Open? That's nice. I would like that payday. But a 64.5-foot putt on 18, I was giving the play-by-play to the wife as she was kind of getting stuff ready for bath time. I said, he's going to have to 2-putt this. And as soon as, who was it? Was it Hovland? When he hit it, and he hit basically the same shot.
Yeah. Gave him a read.
I was like, that's it. The pressure of that putt, to have to 2-putt from that spot. I would have bet he probably would have 2-putt. My guess was he's probably going to 2-putt, but I was thinking Roush, he was probably going to have about 6 or 7 feet on the 2-putt. It was going to be chewy. He was going to think about it. It was going to be great drama for Oakmont, the U.S. Open, and the fans watching at home. But once, was it Hovland? I don't know why I'm wanting to say it wasn't, but I whoever it was. Once he put it inside, I was like, oh, no, he's going to get a read. He's a professional golfer, and all he has to do is 2-putt. That's going to be it. I would not have bet, though, that he was going to make it, which is exactly what J.J. Spahn did, buried it. It was the best golf putt I've ever seen in my life. And I don't really know how many people could say otherwise. To secure a major at the toughest course that we've seen in a good bit, to sink a 64.5-foot putt in one that you really are playing conservatively, like, hey, let's just not mess this one up. And you just go ahead and you make it? That was incredible. And Roush, I ask you, how far would that have putt gone if it had not gone in the cup? My friend group was debating it. He's so lucky. One of them said. What's your thought on J.J. Spahn sinking a 64.5-foot putt to win the U.S. Open? Truly the stuff of dreams in the sports world. Like, that's the stuff that you dream. Like, you can't even really even envision it when you're on the golf course because it's too far-fetched. You dream about stuff like that. He made it a reality.
I mean, if it run because I'm trying to rewatch the speed of it, because it is just awesome how much it turned. I mean, it's almost like a putt sort of deal. No, he had it might have gotten like 6 to 8 feet past it.
It was Haddon, by the way. Terrell Haddon. Sorry.
Haddon Hovland. It's easy to get confused.
H.
But there would have been
6 or 7 feet.
Yeah, like it would have been a very makeable putt that he should have made to win it.
You don't think it would have been a great deal of drama?
But one putt that you and I would definitely suck at.
Oh, yeah. I was so bad at those yesterday.
Yeah.
I really would have maybe ended up having a decent little round if I just didn't miss those silly little 4-footers.
Did you see the angle, from looking straight at him? There was, an angle from the crowd that is, directly lined up with him and the ball.
I don't know if I did.
And it's just, it's incredible. I'll send it to you because it doesn't look like it moves as much from where the camera is. But at codebreaker_25 has it. I'm sending it to you now. I guess I'll just put it on the Kentucky Roll Call.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, because it's.
And by the way, my Dan McDonald tweet was on the Kentucky Roll Call page. That's supposed to be sacred. People aren't supposed to be coming in there and seeing that stuff.
They do it all the time, and I don't really know how that works.
Get out! No, it just pops up on the For You page, but it puts like the little. Because when I'm in a little Catholic Twitter page, and I put the shirt thing there, and sure enough, it was just all my own followers being like, "No,
I almost weighed in too, but I was like, we'll talk about it on the radio."
Yeah, I was like, "This isn't for you all. This is supposed to be for the little Catholic community." But maybe that was. Maybe they're in there with.
I mean, this angle, TJ.
I can't wait to see it.
I mean, you don't. I saw it from this angle first. I'm like, how did he know to like go that far over, and for it to have that speed? I mean, what a putt!
Oh my gosh!
Oh my god! I think it reaffirms,
and he loved it too.
The notion that I don't know if I've ever seen a better putt before.
Well, I'll tell you what. This is why I get paid the modest bucks here. Radio on the fly. I was going to tell you, Roush, like, if he had not missed that putt, it was going to be nothing. That was an awesome conservative putt, too. It was just the perfect putt. Seeing this angle of it, it actually does look like it has a little zip on it, where if it doesn't go in,
right,
that angle makes me think a little differently. Like, I can see why you said 6 to 8 feet, because that kind of looks like from that angle. But the one that they were showing live on TV, I thought it was going to land about like a foot short, or maybe like 6 inches short. Like it was just the perfect little lag putt just to get it there, 2-putt in. So if it hadn't gone in, my thought process was, well, it barely got there to begin with, so it only would have gone by just by a little bit if it had gone by at all. But seeing this one, it makes it even more impressive. The greatest putt I've ever seen by a golfer I hardly even knew existed. J.J. Spawn, your U.S. Open champion.
J.J. Spawn is also the ultimate luck it would give him out on like some stuff because he does drive the ball well.
He didn't give him out on Luckett's Locks this week.
No,
thanks a lot, Luckett. Had Soo-Woo Kim not make the cut.
Oh, and he was like at the top of the leaderboard.
He had like 2 terrible holes that just knocked him totally out. Yeah.
Which that's the crazy part about that golf course is that it really does only take 1 or 2 holes to just completely destroy your entire tournament.
I finished 6th or 7th in my little DraftKings pool out of like 30 or 35. So I won the Masters. I came in 5th or 4th in the PGA, 6th or 7th in the U.S. Open. So not bad. I'm having a nice little season. I would be in the, what's the playoff tournament called now at the end of the year? FedEx Cup, yeah. I'd be in that for sure if that was a thing that existed here. But it didn't win, and they only do money if you win. A little piece of history was on the line yesterday. Had Spawn 3-putted and it gone to a playoff, because you know who finished second? Robert McIntyre. Do you know what history would have been made had Robert McIntyre won?
I don't. Oh, lefty. First lefty.
First left-handed U.S. Open winner ever.
Does that mean that America hates lefties?
How is that possible?
Kind of sounds like it.
Ever? They've been doing the U.S. Open for a very long time.
Do you got any lefty golfer friends?
I don't know. My buddy Charlie, my roommate in college. He's one of my best friends. Got a Kernsberger with him this weekend, which was great. He alternates. So like he'll throw a baseball one hand and then a football another hand, and he'll golf one hand but then right another hand. He is just truly a freak. Real weirdo too. You know anybody?
I see, and I know some lefties who don't golf left-handed, and I think some of it's because their dad had right-handed clubs, so they just learned how to do it right-handed. But I do have one lefty golfer friend, and he's it's almost like when you see a left-handed shooter and you expect them to be a good shooter. I expect my lefties to always hit it straight because he is a very straight player for the most part. Like it's like, all right, in the scramble, we can always roll on Mike because he's money right down the middle of the fairway. Just get one out there for us, and then then we can go and see how hard we can hit it.
My brother-in-law's dad played with us yesterday from Lafayette, and he was just straight and short every single time. He's probably like 79 or something. I was just like, that is awesome. I mean, it was just pure every single time. It's nice if you can get that down. You don't lose a ball. Pretty good on the golf course. If you can do that. Chuck, now that I'm picturing him, he golfs right-handed. But my buddy Matt is a lefty, so he could be the only one that, maybe my cousin Dave too, but regardless. Oh, we said goodbye to my aunt and uncle's house of 25 years on Saturday. Had a nice big, farewell party.
That's fun.
Kind of cool. I think, saying goodbye to a house is you don't see a lot of that. But probably should.
My, what they did for my mother's, the house that she grew up in, so, they were there for, 40 years or something like that. They got out a camcorder back in, 1992, and they started drinking and going around the house and telling stories about the different rooms.
Oh,
and all
that's
the stuff.
great, yeah.
So that is a very fun, I love that. At one point, my mom's talking about how she had one guy was coming over to meet her at the front door, but she had another guy at the back door. She's, I'm just like, Mom, gosh. So they're, I think that's a good idea.
We did index cards, because we had so many holiday family parties.
Oh, I'm sure.
There, yeah.
It also is very. I think that's a great idea, and a lot of people just don't want to do it because moving is such a pain in the ass. And then if you're going to have a party, well, then you've got to get everything ready for the party, but you don't want to put all your stuff up. So I can understand why it's not done quite as often, but very cool. Very cool.
It is very cool. One more commercial break is even cooler, and then get into your text on the Game Day Men's Health text line. Exactly what we're going to do to wrap up a Monday show, Kentucky Roll Call on Big X Sports Radio. And then we've got some news for you about tomorrow, which is exciting. This is KRC on the Big X. We're back after this.
Matt Dennison here, inviting you to join me weekdays at 11 a.m. for the Hoosier Report. Complete coverage of the Indiana Hoosiers, interview
Welcome back in. One final segment of Kentucky Roll Call here on the Big X Sports Radio 96.1 FM, 1450 AM. Get your podcast wherever you get your podcast. Hopefully, Spotify will work soon. What's always working is the Game Day Health men's text line. Text in 502-414. 1450 is the number to the Game Day Men's Health text line. We're going to get to that, but I did want to bring up, did you see Dane Key did his first lengthy interview? Dane Key, in the middle of a route. Dane Key, in the middle of a route. Let's say in the middle of a cornfield.
No, middle of a route. But no, I did see that he had 3 different offensive coordinators in 3 years.
3 different quarterbacks.
3 different quarterbacks.
It is kind of funny when you lay it out and he says, I just wanted some consistency. It was time for a change.
That is funny.
I get it, though. Totally get it. And
I do totally get it. And Dane Key's, I wish that it could have worked out.
Mm-hmm.
Do I think this team is drastically better with Dane Key? Weirdly enough, I'd probably feel like the offense. I would feel different about this team if it had Dane Key.
Yeah.
Not to the point where it's like they're going to a bowl game.
But I think he's 1, maybe 2 wins for them.
It's like somebody's going to emerge in the wide receiver room just because somebody has to. So somebody's going to step up and do some nice things.
But what's the ceiling for that?
Macklin should be consistent. If you had Key, it'd just be, all right, you got one receiver that's really good. You've got Macklin that's reliable. Your just margin for error would be more beneficial had you had somebody that was as experienced as Dane Key. But, well.
There's a lot of people like Nebraska. I mean, I don't think it's the worst thing to bet on Dylan Raiola and Dana Holkerson's offense. They're going to throw the football a lot. So,
and it's a place that cares.
Yeah,
he's going to play in full stadiums every Saturday, and Roush is exactly right. He's gonna get targets.
Right. In a competitive league, yes, it's not the SEC, but who's to say that Nebraska can't be a Big Ten playoff team this year? I haven't checked their schedule and all that, but 9-3 in that league, going to the playoff, that could happen if Raiola hits in year 2. So I can't blame him for that decision making. I also can't really blame the Pacers for blowing it, and because I don't.
You blew it.
Did they blow it, or was it just Shea took over? Because
no, they blew it.
That third quarter, it made for great viewing because I was kind of flipping between the Louisville baseball College World Series game and the basketball game. And by the time that baseball game ended, it was right towards the end of the third quarter into the fourth.
I'm sorry. You had an opportunity, and you blew it.
You blew it.
They blew it.
This close, and you blew it.
Because they were up by what, 9?
You blew it.
At least 7. At least 7, but 9, yeah, sounds about right.
You blew it.
Shea just hit some big shots, and the Pacers quit scoring in the fourth quarter.
Don't you feel like the Pacers lost the NBA championship with that? Because the Thunder are 9.5-point favorites tonight.
Yeah, they've made.
And then the Thunder need to just
favorite every game though. By a lot.
Well,
they're 5-point favorites.
9.5, I think, is the biggest, right? I'm pretty sure it is. I think that was the. I think that was the NBA champ. And I was talking to the wife about that. She was like, "Who are you going for?" And I was like, I'm kind of conflicted because I would rather the Thunder win the championship in 7, just because I like Shea and I like Case and Wallace.
Correct.
So, but I want this to go on for more exciting finishes and drama. So that being said, I think the Pacers winning this would be more likely we get a longer series. However, it'd also be more likely that obviously the Pacers needing just one win would be more likely to win the championship. So I told her I was a little conflicted. I didn't really care. I mean, I don't care one way or another.
I have been cheering for the Pacers because they do play a fun brand of basketball. There were people in that arena that thought they won the championship in that third quarter. You could feel it. And to go up 3-1 versus on the road with the series tied, best out of 3, drastically different. It's drastically different. So I don't know if they're going to be able to do it, but I'm like you, TJ. Can we get it to 7, please? Because this has been a very fun series. Shea, and we did kind of gloss over just how awesome Shea was in that fourth quarter. The 3 he hit was enormous. And I know a lot of people were probably talking about the foul or whatever, but the three was incredible. The other incredible thing, I still just wish I could be more locked in the Stanley Cup playoffs because they have been, or the Stanley Cup finals. It gets late, and I just,
Well, at least watch the little highlights in the morning. Those are fun, too. They'll get back at the hockey tomorrow for Game 6 with Florida leading 3-2, and this will be the last game in Florida, if I'm not mistaken. So if the Panthers want to win it at home, they'll have to do it here. And obviously, the Oilers will have momentum if they're able to steal this one on the road tomorrow. So that's exciting.
Game 7, very exciting. But tonight, Pacers, Thunder, 8:30.
All right, Roush. Got a little Price is Right trivia question for you, which, by the way, we are going to do Trivia Thursday with Corey Price tomorrow. Trivia Tuesday. I guess you set that up with Corey.
Yes.
Because he texted me when I was coming into the studio, like, what days would you all be in the studio? Which would be a weird thing for him to just text me as is, so I figured you all were already talking maybe in some capacity.
My phone just got bad service where I was, so I couldn't respond.
So I thought that was bizarre, but anyways, we were rushing to get on the air as is, so I wasn't able to get back to him. And before I could even not get back to him, he had texted again and said, I'm coming in studio tomorrow. It's like, oh, are you, Corey? I'll be the judge of that, all right, buddy? I'll let you know if you're coming into the studio tomorrow, but only kidding. He's nice enough to do that. So we will do trivia tomorrow just as a heads up. Roush, Game 5 tonight in Oklahoma City, and Game 6 tomorrow down in Sunrise, Florida.
Correct.
More expensive get-in ticket. The hockey ticket, the basketball ticket.
I'm going to say
Oklahoma City or Miami?
Hockey just because of South Florida prices. And the cup will be in the building.
That's a good point about the cup.
Yep.
What if I told you that it was more than double for the hockey game?
Wow.
$356 get-in price for the NBA, which is expensive. $356.
$700 in Florida.
$845.
Whew.
Yeah. That's crazy to think for Florida hockey. But, so exciting conclusion. The 2024-2025 athletic collegiate year is closed out for UK. They're done.
Yep.
It's closed out for high school. Congrats to Trinity Baseball on winning the state championship, playing a classic against PRP that went
the softball title,
the 9th inning.
Oh, they went extras too?
They were tied 0-0 after 7, which that's how many innings they play. PRP scored in the 8th. Trinity, I believe, down to their last strike, or at least their last out, hit in the bottom of the 8th, however it all unfolded, hit a home run at KPP, Collegiate Park, to tie it up, and then in the bottom of the 9th, Trinity won. I'd say St. X, Trinity, and PRP all had unbelievable baseball teams this year, among other ones, I'm sure, in the state as well. But those three, some battles throughout the season. Trinity reigns supreme when it matters the most. Congrats to the Rocks. They had a great athletic year, winning the football state championship.
Real shame
as well.
that PRP had to lose in heartbreaking fashion.
Oh, are you supposed to, isn't there some regional pride out there?
No, it's like cheering for the SEC. I will to an extent, South End, but no. No.
I don't like Trinity, but if they're playing a public school,
that was the first ever all Louisville final, which I thought was pretty crazy.
That is crazy.
For as much as people are like, the Louisville schools, baby.
Well, the state will make sure that never happens again. They'll make sure that it was the first and the last.
Yep.
Jasper Johnson has made the first cut out of the Team USA, and I guess Malachi Moreno did not.
He didn't. They said he was playing really well, though. A lot of people were high on him. So
yeah, Mikel Brown at U of L, he made the cut as well. Plenty of UK recruiting targets. I'm out of the recruiting game, but Jason Crow, that's a familiar name on the recruiting. Tyron Stokes is a big one. You get those two. That would be something nice. But Jasper Johnson makes the U19 cuts. That's cool. And so does A.J. Despanta from BYU. Supposedly Darren Peterson, the Kansas player, did not make it.
Ooh. Real tough look for Bill Self.
I didn't even know if he was out there. That's just reading a reply to a tweet, so take that for very little. But
how about we read some text on the Gameday Men's Health text line?
Gameday. Have you heard my Gameday Men's Health ad?
I don't think I have.
It's on the. I don't even know if I would know how to play it, but it's on. It's kind of in the cycle of commercials.
Okay. Do you not like it?
I don't love it personally. Now, it's not. I don't care. Like, I don't. It's. I just want to do a good job for the company that is having me or our station represent it, and I want them to be happy. And they're happy. So at the end of the day, that's all that really matters. But I did one, and then they said, like, no, we don't want it to be so commercially. We want it to just be real.
Oh, you're going to be real?
So that was, like, my reel. And real just sounds tired. Like, I just sound tired. But I think that's what they wanted, like Game Day Men's Health. You need to go get a pep in your step. But I don't know, Roush. Just keep an ear out for it when you're listening to the Big X, which Running with Roman coming on next. Mike Rutherford at 2:30. And then you get your day started with Sunrise with old Scooty McScooterson. Wonder how Scoot's Father's Day was. So I miss just kind of catching up on Scoot's weekend, you know?
Well, especially whenever he's not here for the Hoosier Report either. Scoots had to do the Hoosier Report with Dugan on Friday. That was fun.
I got to hear that.
I know. I was listening to some of that, just being like, well, I wish we could be at Old Capitol, too. Oh, well. Good. John here. Oh, hey, John.
Hey, John.
I love it when it is a downpour of rain and you're leaving a restaurant or your home and you drive just a few minutes the direction the rain is not coming down and you feel like you're in the Truman Show or a load delay in GTA Online. I know it's about clouds, but how do they work? Anyways, Pacers by 3 tonight.
What?
I guess he's saying, like, when you drive in and out of rainstorms. But I was just thinking, I don't like when I leave a restaurant and I get poured on. Which, it was one of the first SEC media days I covered, and Freddie Maggard was with me. And the Deep South, when you get those storms that blow in, those storms are brutal. And we picked up our passes at the hotel, and there was an Olive Garden, just like, oh, it's right over there. Sure, we'll do that for dinner. And in that short, just having to park our car, I mean, the people at the Olive Garden were giving us the cloth napkins as towels because we were just so drenched in water. It's crazy, absolutely nutty.
Were they doing anything? The napkins?
I mean, they did okay, but we were just soaked, absolutely soaked.
How do you feel about Joey Chestnut returning to the Nathan's famous 4th of July hot dog eating contest?
Good. They were going to end up finding a way to get him in because, I mean, I don't know if it's necessarily for the draw of it all, but they were going to figure it out. There's too much. That's the only way that they can be, like, I don't want to say profitable, but that's how you get the eyeballs. You got to have the best out there. So they were going to find a way to make it work.
You know what's kind of interesting is when you didn't have him last year, you didn't have as many wieners eaten. However, do you know who won last year? Of course you don't. Why would you?
Of course not. Yeah. No.
Patrick Bertatelletti.
Well, it wasn't a spaghetti contest.
He ate 58, which the year before, in 2023, Joey Chestnut only ate 62.
Well, but it might have had slow buns that year.
It was a slow bun year, you think?
Sometimes the buns are a little slow. It gets too humid. If it's a fast bun day, then Chestnut is definitely taking him down. So you're saying that he's got some bona fide competition.
I do think 58, at least when you do the Wikipedia, how many years have they been doing it? Since 67? Is that so?
That's crazy.
All right, well, since they've been doing it at its kind of current pace, that really was a pretty low total. What do you think the highest is? What do you think the record is?
Chestnut got 73, I want to say.
76. 76 wieners in 10 minutes, which is pretty crazy.
Man.
On the Wikipedia page, they have results, and you can do it. You know, you can hit the tab, and it'll tabulate it for you and whatnot. You can do. There's a contest duration tab. In 1967, in 60 minutes, Walter Paul sucked down 17 dogs.
In 60
minutes, an hour.
That wow. How times have changed.
And it's not immediately clear if he even ate the buns. Let's see. The contest was held on June 30th. Blah, blah, blah. It was won by a 400-pound, 32-year-old truck driver. The prize was a trophy proclaiming him the world's champion hot dog eater. 17 hot dogs in 60 minutes. That is horrible. I could do that.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. The hot dogs that they had at Mount Carmel, I mean, they were bratwurst-sized hot dogs. It was the biggest hot dog I've ever seen, TJ.
Were they good?
Yeah. but I had to eat.
But it was just just like a regular hot dog.
Yeah, it was just the size of a bratwurst sausage.
We walk into Rayfield and they've got like the grill. If you walk in the back, you walk past the grill, which is great marketing.
It smells great.
Because just a good old hot dog burger on the grill. That smell, the sound, the smoke. It's all just so great in the summer. Anytime really. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna get a hot dog and a burger. I'm pretty hungry. They didn't melt the cheese on the burger, which I was a little disappointed. It was just kind of like a regular piece of cheese that they threw on. But the burger was delicious. No complaints there. I go up to go get a drink for the family. Come back. Lucy is eating my hot dog. She ate hers and then ate mine.
What?
Yeah, they were not the ginormous ones. They were just normal. Kind of small, if you will.
So you have to go get another hot dog?
No, I just I took it easy.
Took an L.
And I'm kind of glad that I did because I ate, oh my gosh, the amount of food I've eaten in the last 48 hours, Roush.
Oh, well, good.
You can roll me out of this studio when we're done here in a couple of minutes.
One texter on the Game Day Men's Health text line says, I go to St. Louis Berkshire a lot for Sunday Mass, and there are people wearing pajamas and everything. That guy needs to shut up.
Well, it's...
Jesus saves, but only if you have a collar on.
And buttons and button downs. Yeah. Yeah, whatever. If I saw that guy again, I wonder if I'd say anything to him or it wouldn't be anything mean. But it'd be like, hey, look at me. I'm wearing a collared shirt today. I wonder. I think his intention really was just like he didn't think I was going to say anything back. But when I was just like, well, hold on a second. Teach me about this. I don't think he was prepared.
And I get it. You'd like people to dress a little bit nicer, but I feel like there's a big message from Jesus about not judging, and he was sounding pretty judgmental.
Yeah, there's truth to that as well.
There is one key factor that is an obstacle for Kentucky recruiting, and they don't do anything about it. That is geography, and that is from Steve. So the way I see it is Vince is doing the same thing horse trainers do. When he has a horse that can't compete well against a more skilled group, the trainer drops him in a class where he has a better chance of finishing in the money. Man, I wish I was finishing better in the money. Not a good horse gambling weekend for me, Teach.
Well, that's pretty much any time I've got the ponies, right?
Won a pick 5 that lost money.
Oh,
lost
was there a pick 5 pool?
Yeah. We it's like a group, and I'll just pay.
No, but doesn't Churchill Downs do big pools or something, or is those only pick 6?
They do it for pick 5s, but it was chalky. So
gotcha.
I lost $2 out of my pick 5 because it was. I love the setup of it because you had 2 really great turf races, and that's where you can find some horses at a price.
For sure.
The favorites just won those.
Oh.
Come on. So that's what it was. Is anytime I had a winner, it didn't cash. And then one of my friends, he went to the track on Father's Day, and I'm losing, and then his wife's aunt just hit a $1,400 try. First time ever at the track, ever playing, and I'm just like,
probably just doing numbers or names.
Yeah, and I'm just like, are you kidding me? Like this, really? And of course, it was the horse that blew up my bet too. It was a $40 horse. So.
How long does the appraisal process take, TJ? And when it's ordered until all your work's complete? It kind of just depends when we get the order sent to us and whatnot, but just assuming you're curious, you got the order sent to you, then we have to set it up with the people. But assuming there's no obstacles in the way, it could take 2 days.
Yeah.
If you work all day on it, you could get it back same day. But assuming you're going through just a normal rigmarole process, probably 3 to 5 days. If it's longer than that, you really probably shouldn't be taking that long. All right, we're out of time somehow.
Yeah,
and
what a fun show today.
People on the YouTube chat were talking. They were just saying the rat snake was a good one to have around the house. I agree. I'm cool with him hanging around. Just not so near the interior of the house, I think, is what got the family all worked up. But thanks, everybody, for participating. We'll be back again tomorrow. Trivia Thursday. It'll be a good one. This is Kentucky Roll Call on Big X Sports Radio. Nick Roush, TJ Walker. We'll be back on Tuesday with Corey Price.
Makes playing high school sports even more special. I'm Claire Hack from Jennings County High School. Over the last 4 years, I think about all the memories made, how teammates became best friends, how coaches mentored me and helped me grow.
I'm Allie Ward from Boonville High School. Being a